I think the starting point for us as a community is that we need to decide what the critical quality attributes are of our clinical grade IPS cell lines. And some of them are obvious, obviously. It's got to be free of bacterial contamination, for example, and antitoxin and so on. That's kind of self-evident. Clearly, you have to demonstrate pluripotency. And then there are, in a sense, areas which are more open to debate and discussion, such as what cell markers, the appropriate cell markers to use, what degree of genetic stability are we looking to demonstrate, at what level of granularity, how deep we're going to go in looking for potential activation of proto-oncogenes, for example, those kind of issues. Now, I think we've made, as a community, a starting point for that, with the quality control paper that was published probably about a year or so ago now, 6 months to a year or so ago. But I'd say two things about it. First of all, it's a community process. It's not one person who decides these things. It's us together need to debate these and come to conclusions. Secondly, it's not a once and for all statement. It's something that will evolve because our scientific knowledge of IPS cells is evolving, and technology is evolving, and we're able to look at things in a lot more detail even than we were 5 or 10 years ago. Nevertheless, that I think is the starting point, because those are the things, and the critical quality attributes are those which in our collective view are likely to impact upon the quality or the safety of products derived from those lines. And then following from that, so it's not enough to just decide upon what those attributes would be, but what the standards are that go alongside them. Again, for some, it's obvious. Bacterial contamination, you don't want any. So some are obvious, some standards are self-evident, but then other standards aren't. There might be very legitimate debate about what level of expression of certain cell surface antigens is an appropriate standard, for example. What proportion of non-pluripotent stem cells would be acceptable within a culture? What for any given assay, what level of potential genetic instability would be acceptable? I think these are open questions. But at the end of the day, we as a community have to draw a line, and it's a line in the sand which has to be agreed. And then I think the third step after that is that having decided on the quality attributes, what assays we're going to use to measure those, and the standards, we need to make sure that when those assays are done in different laboratories, people will get broadly similar results. This is a problem we find in clinical laboratory work all the time. There are many hospitals doing tests. We want to know that for the count you have done in one hospital, broadly speaking, is going to be similar to one you have done in another. And so it's the same problem. And the way to approach that is through mechanisms such as a quality round, where you send materials out, different laboratories will test them using their own in-house assays, report them back. Of course, there's no gold standard, but what you tend to end up with is a consensus with almost, in the best of worlds, a kind of normal distribution, and then some outliers, and that begs the question, why do you have outliers, if you see what I mean? So I think that's the process which then allows us to say, we have this clinical grade cell line manufactured by somebody. If we assay it in any of these laboratories, all of them will either agree or not agree together that this is of clinical grade or not. And I think that's where we're trying to get to.
Okay.